So from there, I'm asking her to tell me about her. She's telling me all about who she is and what she does and her family and all that stuff. You're listening for all of that stuff. And later on, I'm going to do an interview with somebody that's a different personality, and I'll just pick out who that is later. Not tonight, but I want you to see what that looks like in different times. And so I'm going to tailor the rest of my conversation based on that. Okay, so back to Shannon. I'm going to interview her from there. So she's told me about her, and I've told her about me. Just pretend that. I've told her my I story. And I try to do just a quick version of that. And within that I story, I'm covering things based on what she's just told me. So in my I story, back to Shannon, I say, thank you so much for sharing about you. I know you a little bit better now, and that just helps me. I always love getting to know people, and I'm so glad I did that. So then when I go start my I story, I'm going to talk about how Mary Kay has allowed me to raise my children in my home. Mary Kay has everything around family and things like that, because that's what she needs to do. And if you don't have a story like that relates to the person that you're talking to, then you want to think of somebody else, a sister consultant, a director you've heard. Use my story, because you want to figure out a way to relate to her. So back to the interview, and I'm picking up with, okay, she's told me about her and her family and where she works, and so I'm going back to that. Okay, Shannon, so what do you like best about what you do right now, your job? What do you like best about that?
Well, I don't see any opportunities for advancement. So, I guess it's really mundane. So, there are extracurriculars that I have in my life that I find important, and I like the fact that I can go home and not have been really stressed out from all the, the job that I had before this was very, very stressful, and it was physically and emotionally draining. So when I would get home from work, I would just be exhausted and not want to do anything. Now I can get home from work at 5:30 and feel like I have a whole day's worth of energy left, because all I was doing is sitting on the computer with like zero stress level. So it's very stress-free, and every once in a while we socialize, and the people in the office are really nice, and I like getting to know them. So I guess it's very stress-free. That's the best thing about it.
Okay, great. And what would you change about that, if anything?
I would definitely, I guess I would definitely like it to be a little bit more on the go. I feel like I sit still the whole time, and I like to have a lot going on. I like to keep busy. And at my job, I sit still and I stare at a computer all day, and I have a one task. And so my mind is racing and thinking of a million other things going on while that one task is going on. And I just feel like I'm wasting my life sitting at that cubicle. That's the only stress I ever feel, is when I sit at that cubicle and it hits me that I've been sitting here for hours just feeling like I'm doing nothing, when I could be out and about and doing something and feeling productive, and it doesn't feel productive.
Okay.
Other than I'm making money.
Okay. And what do you feel like you need most in your life right now? What would that look like? What does Shannon need?
I think I need change. I need to do something that's more for me. I want a family. I want to take the next step in my life. I feel like I need to get one step farther into adulting, get to a chance where I can move out of my parents' house and maybe get married soon and start a family, and just kind of get out of this kind of plateau that I've hit in my life, where I'm just, out of school, steady job, and nothing else. I need to keep going.
Okay, cool. So where would you see yourself 5 years from now? Describe what that looks like for me.
5 years from now, I'd like to be married and a starter home, maybe married to my boyfriend, maybe a baby on the way, or already have one, hopefully just on the way. I don't know if I want a kid in 5 years yet, but definitely living and married somewhere nice, and definitely a starter home, having purchased my first home.
Okay, cool. And so the current job that you have in there that you're doing now, do you see yourself still being there in 5 years?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to be, so I'm not gonna let it happen.
Okay, cool. Cool. So if I only had 5 minutes left here to share with you some facts about the Mary Kay career, what would you want to know? What would Shannon need to know to understand a little bit more about this and maybe possibly become a consultant?
Well, I am new to the area, so meeting new people would definitely be something that I'm going to struggle with. It's going to be a big, hard thing to do for me, and I don't know that I'd be comfortable going out and meeting new people face to face and just walking up to strangers. So I guess my biggest question would be, how do I meet new people if I have nowhere to start? Like, say I have no family at all here, no one that would help me. Where do I go? What do I do?
Okay, great. That's a good question. So I'm going to cover that in just a second. But I want to share with you now some of the main points about our business that people want to know. And I'm going to work on answering that question for you within that. And so we have no territories. We can sell to anybody in the U.S. We can add a recruit to our team from any state in the U.S. It doesn't have to be right in your local hometown. So if you're new to the area, you probably have family somewhere else, right? So you could actually sell your product to those other family members and friends that live somewhere else. And you could also interview them and have them join your team. And so we have systems in place to be able to help them even though they're not local to you. So that makes it even better because you don't have to just stay right in your local area. There's also no quotas, so you're not locked into doing anything in a certain amount of time that you don't want to do. You move at your pace and decide when and where what happens. You know, how many appointments do you want to hold a week or a month? Or do you not want to hold any at all this month? There's no quota, so you move at your pace. You get to be your own boss and keep your priorities in order, and that was one of the things that I was drawn to in Mary Kay when I started, was that it was a God first, family second, and career third company where they believe in that order everything works, and out of that order it just doesn't work properly. And so our founder was a Christian woman, and she started this business based on the golden rule and based on keeping God first, family second, and career third. And so that was one of the biggest things for me, because when I started, as I told you in my story, I wanted to work from home and raise my son in my home. And so Mary Kay has provided a way for me to do that. And I could advance at my pace. And, I actually was a little bit slower pace getting to the position that I am now, but you can move as quickly or as slowly as you want to. It's completely up to you. Mary Kay does have a 90% buyback guarantee on any products that you order from the company. So anything you order, you have 12 months to actually work with that product. And if you don't sell it, you can send it back to Mary Kay and get 90% of your money back if you decide that you're done with Mary Kay. So there's a lot of safety nets here for you as far as the company goes, because they want you to succeed, and so do I. But there is a safety net there. I could talk all night long about what this business has done for me, but the money is just a little part of it. The self-confidence and self-esteem that Mary Kay has given me through this safe place to fall is how I kind of look at it. You can't put a price on that because I was very shy when I started, and Mary Kay has allowed me to be able to grow through the different things that happen in this business. And, we have awesome prizes and recognition. And, in the real world, you don't get patted on the back usually for too much of anything that you do. And in Mary Kay, we believe in doing that on a daily basis. And so there's weekly prizes and monthly prizes and yearly prizes from the company that you can earn. And the great thing is, Shannon, you get training immediately with me. So I'm here to hold your hand as long as you need it. If you're ready to run and soar like an eagle on your own, no problem. But as long as you need me, I'm here. And so basically, you have everything there to help you succeed. It's up to you what you do with it. It's only $100 to get started with Mary Kay. Starts the process. $100 plus tax and shipping. And then there's some different things you're going to have to decide once you get started, but we go through all of your orientation. And then once you pick and choose and decide how you want to run it, we talk about that, and I help you based on the needs that you have. So out of the different things that I just described to you, Shannon, which one of those things do you think appeals to you most and that speaks to you the most about the business so far?
Let's see. I would have to say what surprises me the most is the fact that there's so much training, and like it sounds like once you get your starter kit, you don't get just kind of left with it. And it sounds like you really want me to succeed, and you don't just want me to buy a starter kit. So I guess I'm really surprised by how much it sounds like you care, and how much you're willing to help me and spend your time helping me learn how to be successful. So that's really exciting.
Awesome. Yay. And that's really the way I want it to be. I want to help you succeed, because when you succeed, I succeed. Right. And so let me tell you a little bit about the income possibilities for you. You do make a 50% sales commission on anything you sell with the company. And that, again, all depends on you. It's based on how many faces you see and how many parties you hold. You are not in any kind of quota where you even have to hold a party, but the more parties you hold, obviously, the more people you're in front of and the more products you're going to sell. And so I teach you how to do all of that, but you make 50% every time you sell lipstick, because you order for $1 and you sell it for $2, basically, is the way to look at it. And a party takes about 2 hours, and if you did 3 parties a week, that is 6 hours of your time, and you would get in front of 10 to 15 people and sell between $1,000 and $1,500 if you did that every week. Once you got your system down and your demo down with your products, just showing the products to people, you could potentially sell $1,000 to $1,500 a week holding 3 parties a week, working outside of your home about 6 hours of your time. And so it's a great way to make money. I mean, I don't know where you can go and start a job making that kind of money in 6 hours, because you make half of that. If you sell $1,000, you make $500. So it's that easy, and my goal is to teach you how to do that once you get started. And we make also a team commission based on our team members, 4 to 13%. Anything they order from the company shares a profit with us. And so in addition to that sales income of holding those appointments and getting paid that way, you also make a commission from the company when you have a team. And so our goal is to help you build your team as well. And we'll be walking through that process once you get started. Let me tell you a little bit about kind of the team member that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a busy person. I'm not looking for somebody who has a lot of time on their hands. I'm looking for a busy person, somebody who can get the job done and who knows how to maybe manage their time a little bit. Busy people know how to do that. And so I'm looking for that person. The second type of person I'm looking for is, I'm not necessarily looking for somebody who knows a lot of people, because I'm going to teach you how to find people that you don't know. Your best customers are going to be people you don't even know right now. And I can say that because that's true in my business. And so I'll teach you how to walk through the process of meeting new people through referrals from appointments that you are going to hold. And then, oh my gosh, girl, everybody's on social media. So you're going to meet people through social media. And how many friends do you have on Facebook?
A lot.
Okay, so there's your starting list right there. If you have nobody but that, you have that. And so I'll teach you how to work through that process. And I don't want somebody who's the sales type. I don't feel like I'm a sales type person. I really feel more like I teach about the products, and you only need to know just simple things about our products. And there's a whole website dedicated to the products and what's in them and what they do and all of that. If you have someone who's asking you specific questions about those products, you can go to Product Central on your consultant webpage and excuse me, and pull that up and be able to tell her anything she wants to know about that product. But you don't have to carry that around in your head. That's why the website's there. So you don't have to be a salesperson. You don't have to do all the little sales tricks. You just got to love our product, and you do, because you're my customer and you love the product. And then you got to go and share this product with everybody you know, and they fall in love with it just like you did. I'm looking for someone who has more month than money. Sometimes the money runs out before the month does. And so I'm looking for somebody that I can help to be able to add income to their family and be able to change your future through this business. And I'm looking for somebody who's family oriented. And you already told me that you love your family. So definitely you fall into my categories. And I'm looking for someone who's a decision maker that can make a decision and just act on that decision once you make it. And so, and I feel like just from hearing your story, you fit a lot of those qualities that I'm looking for. So hypothetically, if you were to consider doing this, what do you feel like your personal strengths are, and why would you be good at Mary Kay?
Let's see. Well, I'm incredibly loyal to people. So once I create a relationship with someone like a customer, I'm going to go above and beyond to make sure that they're happy, because I'm also a people pleaser. So I've always been that way, and that's kind of why I was so miserable at my old job, because it was customer service related, but it was also high in sales, and I wanted the customer to be more happy than more so than I wanted to sell stuff to them. So I was just worried about making them happy, and so I think I'd be really good at making my customers happy with me, and I love meeting new people. So I think that I'm friendly, and that's it.
Okay. So with the proper training, do you feel like you could learn to do what I do?
I think so, yeah.
Absolutely, I do. Are there any other questions that you have that I can answer for you based on anything you heard today?
Let me see. Not that I could think of.
Okay. So is there any reason why then, Shannon, that we couldn't get you started today?
No, I don't see why not.
Okay, awesome. Yay. So let's get you started. Get your debit card, girl, and get your license and all that, and we're going to get you started. So then at that point, what I do is I actually fill out a paper agreement, or I go online right then and key in everything as I ask her. And especially if she's saying she's ready to go, I don't say, okay, girl, I'll call you back tomorrow and we'll get you started. Obviously, I'm going to say, let's go now. If she had said, well, I do have another couple questions, or maybe she had said, I want to think about this or pray about this, can you call me tomorrow? I would say, yes, absolutely, I can call you tomorrow. Most people can make a decision within 24 hours. I want you to really think about it, pray about it, and see. If you have any questions, just call me and let me know how many questions you have, and let's answer those questions. And so that's how I would conduct the one-on-one interview, over the phone interview, and that kind of thing. So, do y'all have any questions for me that I can answer about anything you saw, any of that?
8, 9, 5.
What about people who say something like,
Perfect.
I have a lot of customers who want to sign up. Well, not a lot. I have a few customers who would like to sign up, but they're struggling with coming up with the money for the starter kit, or they're finding it difficult to invest that money on a starter kit rather than in their family or something else that $100 could go to. What do you say to sort of kind of give them the perspective that the investment they're making can make them so much more? Like, what do you say when people say, well, I just don't know if I have the $100, or if I'm okay with spending $100 right now?
Okay, I'm going to kind of answer this in two parts. And somebody has some background noise. If y'all can make sure y'all are muted so that I can make sure everybody can hear me. But I've had this question come up a lot, and I've also had this response come up a lot lately. First thing I'm going to say is National Sales Director Linda Tupin says if they can't even come up with the money for the starter kit, you might want to run. Because if she can't come up with the money for the starter kit and she's not willing to figure it out, then it's going to be difficult for her to figure out things that she needs to do in this business as well. So I think you kind of have to go with your gut on this one and ask yourself, is she somebody that I feel like would work hard to get the money? Or if you know a little bit about her and everything she said during that interview was maybe a little bit negative, or you could tell that she's not a worker, you'll be able to know by the time you get to that end of that interview after asking her all those questions, you're going to know a little bit more about whether she's a worker or not. And this is a business. You're not running I don't know, something to save people. I want to help everybody, obviously, and we want everybody to be a Mary Kay, but you can't save the world. And so she's got to be willing to work if she doesn't have the money. And when you'll know that, Shannon, by if you suggest the ways to her for her to come up with it, if she shoots them all down, then you run. But if you suggest ways to her that she can come up with the money, and then she works to figure it out, then you'll know she's good. She's going to be a hard worker. And so that's kind of my take on it. And so what I typically do, if they say they don't have the money, and you've heard me do it, I suggest ways for them to get it. And if I don't hear from her, or if when I call her back the next day or next couple of days or whatever, she hasn't figured anything out, and it seems like a dead end, then I know she's not going to work. And so you don't want to be, if that's an excuse, you don't want to talk her into it, because people that you talk into doing this don't stay. And so you really have to kind of go with your gut on it, basically. So I hope that helps you answer that question. I don't completely say, okay, well, see you later since you don't have money. I don't do that. But I do suggest things to her. Like you have a family member that might let you borrow the money. Is your birthday coming up? I mean, some of you on this phone, I may have said these same things to. Do you have anyone who loves you enough to let you borrow that money, because consultants make their money back in a couple of days? And usually if I tell them that and they come up with it by the time I call them back, then I know she's going to be great because she figured it out. You want someone who can be a problem solver. And so that's what she's doing. But that's a great question, because I've gotten that a lot lately. And I don't want to turn my back on somebody because they say they don't have the money, because that's not what this is about. It's about helping people. But at the same time, I can't save the world. I can't hand her the money, and I can't work with somebody who's not willing to work with me. So I hope that helps. It's kind of a crazy answer, but I hope that helps answer that question. Mainly, to put it in a nutshell, I try to suggest ways for her to come up with it, and then tell her I'll call her back the next day or the next couple of days to see if she came up with some different ways to get it and if she got it. And some people do and some people don't. And I know the people who do are going to be great in the business. So any other questions? Can y'all think of anything else that you need to know? Okay. So I hope that helped you guys, and I really want to tailor this training that we do on Sunday night around what you need it to be. So if you have specific things you want me to do in detail on here, text me and let me know what training you need so that I can make sure I'm doing what you need. But I hope that helped tonight for y'all to see me actually walk through that process. I do it a couple of different ways, but this way is a really good way for you to do it one-on-one when you're sitting with somebody, or you can do a chat like this. This doesn't work as great in a group because you need to ask them the questions. So this is the way you do it one-on-one. So any other questions before we go? Okay. Well, we had 7 people on tonight. We almost made it there. So y'all got to fuss at your sister consultants and tell them to be on here next week so we can draw for that gorgeous bracelet. And Tuesday night, I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure you're there and have lots of guests with you. We are not halfway to our goal this month. We're like a quarter of the way to the goal this month. So we're going to keep working. And I believe if we work on selling mascaras between now and the 22nd, and all of us get that $600 order in there, that's going to make up the difference. And we really need to work on sharing the opportunity, just like I just did on a 3-way call, on our conference call, having guests at the meeting, because that's what's going to build our unit, is us having new consultants and then teaching those consultants to sell just like we do. And so I'm really excited about all the great things that are coming this month. I wanted to give a shout out to Meredith. I think she's still on. She is now a star consultant #1 this quarter. First star in the unit, Sapphire Star. And Meredith, you have lots of time to move on up that star ladder. And I know you don't know what that means, but I'll teach it to you very soon. So I'm really excited. Yes, I'm excited for you. Thank you, star consultant. So I'm going to pray for you guys, and we're going to go. And then remember, we have career chat tomorrow night, so make sure you have guests on our career chat so we can share this awesome opportunity with lots of people. And that'll even be a little bit different than what you just heard because I do it over the phone. So let's pray, okay? Everybody ready? Dear Lord, I thank you so much for this day, Lord, and I thank you for these consultants that you've entrusted to me, Lord, and they're my friends, and I pray for them, and I pray and lift them up. Some of them have needs, Lord, that I know about. Some of them have needs that I don't know about, but Lord, you know it all. And I pray, Lord, that you will touch them in a mighty, mighty way. I especially lift up Sarah, Caroline, to you in the situation with her husband. Lord, I pray that you'll touch his body and heal him. Be with her, give her courage and peace to walk through this process. And Lord, I pray that you'll just continue to bless her. And Lord, I pray for any sick family members. Lord, I lift up my uncle to you right now and my aunt up to you right now. And I pray, Lord, that you will be with them and touch their bodies and be with their families. And Lord, I just thank you for all that you do for us. And Lord, I love you, and I thank you for dying on that cross for me. And I just praise you for it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. You guys have a great night. I love you.